Hello students, today we will see chapter 4 motion in plane. In this chapter we will see projectile. First of all we'll understand the meaning of projectile. Projectile means a body is in flight through the atmosphere but is not being propelled by any fuel is called projectile. For example, you can see that a bomb released from an aeroplane. From the aeroplane, suppose a bomb is released, so the bomb will take this type of flight in the atmosphere and that bomb is called projectile. Or you can say that arrow released from a bow. From the bow, if arrow is released, it will just travel this type of path. So that arrow is called projectile. That means obviously you can see the projectile is an object which is not propelled by any fuel. That means it is simply projected, or it is released from some height so that it will just take the parabolic path in the atmosphere. So that object is called projectile. Projectile motion. In projectile motion, the motion of an object which is thrown with some initial velocity with horizontal direction and then allowed to move in two dimensions under the action of gravity alone without being propelled by any engine or fuel is called projectile motion. This is the definition of projectile motion. According to this, it is said that means the motion in which any object is thrown with some initial velocity, whether it is from the ground or whether it is from some height. So the object is projected, or object is thrown with some initial velocity, and that object possesses two type of velocities here. That a horizontal velocity means the projectile motion is the combination of two type of velocities here. That first one is the uniform velocity in horizontal direction, and the second one is the uniform accelerated velocity in vertical direction. How it is, that I will show with the diagram you. Just now you will understand this way. The projectile motion means a motion in which the object is thrown with some initial velocity, whether from the ground or from some height. So object is tracing a parabolic path and touches the ground, okay, and the object is not propelled by any fuel. That is the must condition here, that object should not be propelled by any engine, means any fuel, okay. That means simply it is just means thrown by some velocity, initial velocity, and it will just trace some path. After tracing some path in the atmosphere, it will touch to the ground. So this type of motion is called the projectile motion, and already we have learned that the object is called projectile. So how this means this type of motion is resolved in two components, the horizontal and the vertical component, that we will see with the diagram. There are two type of projectile motion. The first one is horizontal projectile and the second one is oblique projectile. You can see here that here an object is thrown from a height h. This is capital H. It is maximum height, and the object is thrown from a height h with some initial velocity u. If you take, this is the initial velocity here, u, and if you resolve this initial velocity in two components, you will find that the two components, one horizontal component is there, that is ux, and another vertical component is there. This will be downward here. The vertical component is there, that is uy. At this point, you will find that the horizontal component is ux and the vertical component, which is uy, is equal to 0, because whenever we drop any of the object from some height vertically, so initial velocity is 0. So after that you will see this point. At this point you will find that the horizontal velocity will be as it is. As I said before, that the projectile motion is the combination of two type of motion. One is the horizontal projectile motion and another, one is the horizontal uniform motion and another is the vertical uniformly accelerated motion. Okay, so here you can see that this way it is ux, here also it is ux, and here also it is ux, here also if you are taking vx, this is ux. Okay, so all these points which you are looking here, the horizontal component will remain same. That means the horizontal velocity will remain same, and that means it is uniform velocity. Horizontal uniform velocity it is. Now you can see that at this point, this vertical velocity, if you are looking here, this is, you just say that this is some point where the velocity is v1, the vertical velocity is v1. So if you see the length of this side, this is small, then it will gradually increasing here at this point, then here it will gradually increase. So what you are looking here the velocities, the vertical velocities are increasing. When it is touching to the ground, that point the maximum vertical velocity would be there. Maximum vertical velocity would be there. That means it is accelerated velocity, and the acceleration is increasing uniformly when it is coming from here to here. Okay, and what acceleration would be there? This acceleration is actually g, acceleration due to gravity. That means the object is just moving with this acceleration 9.8 meter per second square. With this acceleration it is moving from here to here. Okay, so this is an assumption. We are taking the acceleration due to gravity constant here, as it will change as you move towards the ground or you move away from the ground. But for an instant and for the short duration, we are taking this acceleration due to gravity. So at all the point, the acceleration due to gravity we are taking here is a 9.8 meter per second square. That means the acceleration is constant. That means what you can say, the velocity, vertical velocity is the uniformly accelerated motion it is. Okay, so each and every point you will see that to describe the motion of the object or the location of the object, we need two coordinates here, the x coordinate and the y coordinate, and that's why this motion is called the two-dimension motion, or we are just studying this under the heading motion in a plane. So this is a motion which is taking place in a plane, the xy plane, and here the velocities are resolved in two components, the horizontal component and the vertical component. The horizontal component remain as it is, and that means it is a uniform velocity. The vertical component, gradually it will change, but it will change with the uniform acceleration. So it is uniformly accelerated velocities. Okay, now we'll see certain terms also here. Here from the this point, the journey started of that projectile. The object which is doing the projectile motion is called projectile here. So the projectile will release from here and it will touch to the ground here. So this horizontal distance, the horizontal distance covered by the projectile is called range. It is called range. The maximum horizontal distance covered by the projectile is called range, and we are denoting this with the capital letter R here. Now the time taken, the object, the projectile, means the time in which it will be in the atmosphere, it will be in the flight condition. So that time is called the time of flight. It is started from this point and it will end here. when we are taking the horizontal projectile, so the time taken from here to here, that means the object which travel from here to here, or the object which is just covering this range, so this time, the time taken to cover this horizontal range is called time of flight and is denoted by the capital letter T here. Okay, and this is the maximum height which the projectile is covered. So this is all about the horizontal projectile. Now we'll derive many terms related to the horizontal projectile, and before that we'll see the second type of projectile, that is the oblique projectile here, in which you can see that this time the object or the projectile is released by some velocity here u. The projectile is thrown with the some velocity u here, just making angle theta. This is, you can see that this is the angle theta. So just making one angle with the ground or with the horizontal plane, angle theta, the projectile has given some initial velocity u, and these velocities are resolved in two components, horizontal component and the vertical component. The horizontal component is the ux, the vertical component is the uy, and the same way you will find here we are taking many points, like this point. In this point again the component, the velocity component is resolved here, means velocities is resolved in two components, the horizontal component and the vertical component. So the projectile is taking this path, attending a maximum height, then it will just take this path and it will touch to the ground. So this way a parabolic path is traveled by the projectile and the projectile will touch to the ground. Okay, just following this path, and this is the path which is called the trajectory of the projectile. This is called trajectory of the projectile. Now means when we will derive the formula, that time we will derive the trajectory is parabolic. Okay, so here at each and every point now you are looking, we have resolved the velocities in two components, the horizontal component and the vertical component, and every time you are looking that the length of this arrow, the length of this line in the horizontal component, this is remaining same. That means the horizontal component remains same. Ux, the velocity ux will remain same. It is uniform velocity. Okay, the horizontal component is a uniform velocity, and the vertical component, when it start motion from here and attain the maximum height, till that gradually you will see that the velocity will decrease. Vertical velocity, I am talking about the vertical velocity, vertical component of the velocity. Okay, so you will see that the vertical component of velocity is gradually decreasing here. You can see this length is more than this one. Okay, and this one is the maximum one, then gradually it will decrease here. At this point the vertical velocity, the vertical component of the velocity will be 0. Now after that, once again when it will be in this path, the object will be in this path, you will find that the vertical component will gradually increase. When it touch to the ground, the vertical component of the velocity will again maximum, and the horizontal component of the velocity will remain as it is. At each and every point you will find that to locate the position of the object we require the two coordinate, x and y coordinate, and that's why it is called in the two-dimension motion or the motion in a plane. And each and every point you are looking here, the velocity is also resolved already, as I told to you. Okay, and the path is the parabolic. This is the maximum height attained by the projectile. Depends on the initial velocity, by what velocity it is projected, by what angle it is projected, that we will derive. Means this maximum height attained by the projectile is depend on the what factors, that we will derive by the formula here. And you will see that this is the time in which the object or the projectile is in flight or in the atmosphere from here to here. So this time is called the time of flight. I have denoted this with the capital T here. You will find here, this is from this point to the half of the time of flight, and from here to the complete time of flight, you will find the two time I have taken, one is T1, another is T2 here. Okay, so T1 and T2 will be equal. That also we will prove by the formula here. This is the horizontal distance, maximum horizontal distance covered by the projectile from here to here, and this is called the range and denoted by the letter R here. Okay, so this is all about the oblique projectile. Two assumptions which we are taking here, that is very important to understand. The friction, we are not counting any type of friction here. Okay, so we are just assuming no friction is there. Second thing which we assume here is the acceleration due to gravity is constant. Whether you will take this as 9.8 meter per second square or you will take this as 10 meter per second square, whatever it is, but acceleration due to gravity is constant here. That means all the vertical component of the velocities which we are taking, that is considered as the uniformly accelerated velocities. Now we'll proceed to the derivation of the formula. So we will decide now to prove the formula for the trajectory of the oblique projectile. This figure already I have explained to you, the figure in which each and everything I have explained to you. Okay, so you will see here, if we start from this point O, you can find at point O, the initial velocity here is u, which has resolved in two component, ux and uy here. So the u is the resultant velocity of ux and uy. Here you will see that if you just take the magnitude of the ux component, the horizontal component, it is ux which is equal to u cos theta. We'll write this as equation 1. Then uy, the vertical component, this is uy equal to u sin theta, and this is second equation. At point A, this is the point A, you are watching here, this is the point A. At this point, what you will find, the velocity Vx is equal to Vx plus Vy. Here also we have resolved the velocity in two component, that is Vx and Vy component, that means horizontal and vertical component, and the velocity V is the resultant of Vx and Vy here. Okay, now the Vx, that is the horizontal component, it will remain constant. As I said to you, it is in uniform motion. Okay, so Vx will be equal to ux only, it will not change, and this is equal to u cos theta from equation 1. You can see that. So this we will write now equation 4. Okay, after that you can see that this is ux here, and ux velocity is equal to displacement upon time. So velocity ux, if we'll write here, which is actually we are writing for the Vx. What we are writing for the Vx, you can see that this is the point where we are taking the velocity V, this is the vertical component Vy, and this is the horizontal component Vx. Till here, from O to A, the horizontal point, this you will see that. So from this point, the horizontal displacement is x and the vertical displacement is y here. Okay, so the horizontal displacement, because we are calculating here the horizontal velocity, that means we'll calculate here the horizontal displacement upon the time taken. I have mentioned the time taken from here to here, that means from O to A, the time taken is t here. So this time taken is t here, that means the Vx is equal to x upon t. Vx is actually equal to ux because both the horizontal component will be equal. So it is x upon t. Now the time is equal to x. This is, you can see that the time is equal to what? This is the time which is equal to x upon ux. X upon ux. and this is the fifth equation which we are doing here. Okay, so after that we will calculate the vertical component. The vertical component of the velocity Vy, the magnitude is equal to Vy, which is equal to, we are writing here the equation, first equation of motion, V is equal to U plus AT here, but this point, at point A, you will see that the acceleration due to gravity is negative because it is going upward direction. So we are writing in place of A minus G, and Vy is now equal to Uy minus Gt. Okay, so this is our sixth equation. Now come to the derivation, that we will find now the nature of trajectory. I already explained to you, trajectory means the path followed by the projectile. The path followed by the projectile, that is called trajectory. We are calculating here what will be the nature of the trajectory. For this, we'll just apply the formula as we are applying here, S equal to ut plus half at square. So if we'll apply this formula for this particular point A, so here what you will find, we are talking here about the vertical displacement. So what vertical displacement is covered here, that is y. The vertical displacement covered here at point A is y. So in place of S, I will write here y. Now in place of u, I will write here the vertical component of this point A, which is equal to Vy. Then this is t here. Then this one you will see that plus, actually it is all about the initial velocity. So I will write here Uy. Look at here, I am doing the correction here actually, because when we are writing the projectile started from here. So this is actually the initial velocity. So I will write here, this is Uy t, plus in place of plus I will just write minus, because the acceleration due to gravity is minus. Here it is going in upward direction. So in place of A, I have written G, and this is actually minus G, and in place of T, I will just write T square here. Okay, now we'll put the value. This is Y, Uy, this is equal to U sin theta from equation 2. So I am writing here, this is U sin theta. Okay, this T we have calculated here. This T is what? X upon Ux, and Ux is what? Ux is U cos theta. So here only I will just write this thing also, that T we can write as X upon U cos theta also. Okay, so I am just putting this value only, that T is equal to X upon U cos theta. So this is in place of T, I am writing here, it is X upon U cos theta. Okay, minus half G, again in place of T, I will write X upon U cos theta. Okay, this is squaring we are doing. Now you will see that Y, this is U sin theta upon cos theta. This U would be cancelled here. This is sin theta upon cos theta, and it will be tan theta. It will be tan theta. So we'll write X tan theta here, minus half G, and you will see that this is G. I am just combining this actually. This is G in the numerator, 2 U square cos square theta. Once again look at here, 2 U square cos square theta. So this is 2 U square cos square theta. This I am writing in one bracket here, and this is X square. Okay, now you compare this equation, the equation which we got here. We'll just compare this equation with the equation that Y is equal to AX minus BX square. If you just compare this with this equation, what you will find here, this Y is equal to AX. So A is constant because tan theta is constant here. Whatever the angle you have, initial angle by which you have projected the projectile, that angle would be constant here. So tan theta would be constant here. Okay. As you the displacement can be changed, that point can be A, that point can be here or here. So that displacement can be changed. So the tan theta is a constant here, and this is x. You will see that g will be constant, 2 will be constant, the initial velocity is constant. If theta is constant, cos square theta is also constant. So whole this quantity will be constant. We have replaced this quantity with the letter b here, that will be a constant, and this is x square here. So what you find, this is actually a type of parabola. This equation is the equation of a parabola. So we can prove here, means we already proved here that the trajectory is parabolic. So here it is proved trajectory is parabolic, that means the path followed by the projectile is a parabolic path. Now we'll see the second derivation, that is time of flight. To see this, we'll assume here, you can see that the projectile motion, in which when the projectile is attaining the maximum height, till that the time we have taken here t1, and after that we have taken the time t2. And you can see by symmetry, we can say here this t1 is actually t2. But you can see that the total time taken here is capital T, which is called the time of flight. That means the time of flight is the time by that duration the projectile is just flying in the atmosphere. Okay, so that time is called the time of flight. Okay, so T1 and T2 are equal here, as you can see the symmetry here. So we can say that this is half of the total time of flight. That means this one till here the time taken, and till here the time taken, both are equal and both are half of the total time taken here. Okay, so this is equal to T upon 2. Now you can see here in the equation 6, as it is mentioned, Vy equal to Uy minus Gt. This is the equation 6 which we have written earlier. Now you will see that at this point, if you are looking here, at this point the maximum height attained by the object, the projectile, at this point the vertical velocity will be 0. At maximum height, the vertical velocity will be 0. So this vertical component of the velocity will be 0, and the horizontal component of the, and the initial velocity which we have taken here, that is Uy, it is equal to what? It is equal to, you can see that this is U sine theta minus G, and this is the time here. This time is what actually? This is T upon 2. Okay, so this U sine theta equal to Gt upon 2, or we can simply say the time of flight T is equal to 2U sine theta upon G. So this is the formula for the time of flight, which we'll write as equation B here. Okay, and you will see one more thing, that means as I told you, T1 and T2 is equal to T upon 2. So what will be the value of T1 and T2? The value of T1 and T2 will be U sine theta upon G, just half of the time of flight. This way you can calculate the T1, T2, or you can calculate the time of flight T by putting this formula here, that is 2U sine theta, where U is the initial velocity, theta is the angle of projection, and G is the acceleration due to gravity. Now after that, we'll see maximum height. For maximum height, we'll see here the formula, the equation of motion which we'll apply, which is equal to V square equal to U square plus 2AS. Now this equation of motion, you will see at this point A. at this point A, you will find this is the v square, this is the u square. Okay, so this vertically, if you are looking, because this formula is applicable only for the uniformly accelerated motion, and the vertical motion is the uniformly accelerated motion. So we are looking here the vertical component. Okay, and for this, just now we are looking here at point B. Look at here at point B, when it is attained the maximum height, the vertical component of this velocity v, it will be 0. So this will be 0. This is the initial velocity, the vertical component of initial velocity. Then this is as it is here. Okay, so at the top of this point you will see that it is reaching to the top, that I am writing it is minus 2g, and in place of 8g and s, that is the vertical displacement, and this vertical displacement is h here. Okay, so actually this equation, third equation of motion, I have applied here for the vertical component of the velocity at point B, where you will find this is the vertical component of final velocity, this is the vertical component of initial velocity, acceleration due to gravity, and vertical displacement at point B. Okay, so what you will find here, this will be the vertical component of the velocity at the topmost point, the final velocity, it will be 0. So this is 0 here. Now this one is, it is u square, uy square, and this is u cos theta. You will see u cos theta square minus 2g and h here. That means the maximum height we can calculate here is h here. It is equal to u square cos square theta upon 2g. So this is the maximum height attained by the object. And when it will attain the maximum height, that means the object should be projected, that u initial velocity is constant and g is constant. So what should be the projection angle so that the object should attain the maximum height? So in that situation cos theta would be maximum, and when cos theta would be maximum, cos theta is maximum at theta is equal to 90 degree, and the cos theta value at 90 degree is actually equal to 1 here. Okay, that is the maximum value of the cos theta. That means if you throw any of the object vertically, then it will attain maximum height. Okay, so this is the case here. For the maximum height, this cos theta should be 90 degree. That means this value should be 1, and h max, if I am writing here h max, that is maximum height, is equal to u square upon 2g. This is also another formula for the maximum height, because cos square theta would be 1 here. Okay, so you will find the h maximum is equal to u square upon 2g. Okay, so this is the, you can say the formula C, which is for the maximum height here, and this is the condition in which the maximum height attained, and it is equal to u square upon 2g. Now we will see horizontal range. For horizontal range, as already we have seen that ux, that means the horizontal component of initial velocity, is equal to u cos theta, that is equal to the displacement upon time. Here we have taken in case of A. Okay, now if you can just see for the case here, that is for the horizontal range from here to here. So this horizontal range, that means the x will become r now, and this t will become capital T, that is the time of flight. Okay, so in place of x, this one, the place of x, we will write the full range, full horizontal range covered by the projectile, that is equal to r, and for the time t, we will write the full time here just to travel the object from O to C, that is equal to t here. Okay, just placing this value, what we can find now, that is u cos theta is equal to r, that is range, upon t, that is time of flight. That means r is equal to u cos theta multiplied by time of flight, and already we have derived the formula for the time of flight, that is 2u sine theta upon g. Now the range r is equal to 2u square cos theta sine theta upon g. This is, I am just putting the 2 here. Okay, so this we can write as u square into 2 cos theta sine theta, and this 2 cos theta sine theta, if you see the trigonometric function, already we have learned this is equal to sine 2 theta. This is equal to sine 2 theta. That means 2 cos theta sine theta is equal to sine 2 theta. So the range is given by this formula, equal to u square sine 2 theta upon g, and this is, you can say, the equation D, which is for the range. Okay, that means the maximum horizontal displacement covered by the projectile. Okay, now the maximum range, when we can get the maximum range, suppose if the initial velocity is constant here, means keeping the initial velocity constant, by what angle we have to project the projectile so that we can attain the maximum horizontal displacement, or we can attain the maximum range. For that, this sine 2 theta should be maximum. So sine 2 theta, the value of sine 2 theta should be maximum, and what is the maximum value? That is equal to 1. And when this 1 is, when the angle is equal to 90 degree, that means the 2 theta must be what? That 2 theta must be 90 degree, so that the theta must be 45 degree. That means if we want the maximum horizontal displacement or the maximum range, so we have to project the object by 45 degree angle, whatever initial velocity we will give, but we have to project the object by the 45 degree angle. So in case of the cannon also, from the cannon, when that bomb is projected, so that will be projected by the 45 degree angle, so it can cover the maximum range. One more interesting thing that you can see here, that is what we know, that here if I am just writing, this is r, okay, and this sine 2 theta for the range, you will see that sine 2 theta for the range, if I am writing here, this is 2 theta is equal to what? This 2 theta, if I am just taking theta is equal to this way, theta and 90 minus theta. If I am writing 90 minus theta in place of theta. Okay, so what value I am getting here, you will just find out. Here in place of theta, if I write u square, look at here, in place of theta, if I will write 90 minus theta, if I am writing here 90 minus theta, okay, so this is, you can see this is 90 minus theta here, okay, 90 minus theta. So it is, I am just writing here, so that means it is not visible to you in this point, so I am writing here, okay, so that you will get r is equal to u square, I have written sine 2, in place of theta I have written here 90 minus theta, and upon g. Okay, so what you will find, this r is equal to u square sine 180, 2 into 90 is 180 minus 2 theta upon g. That means what you will find here, you will find that this is r is equal to u sine 180 minus 2 theta, and sine 180 minus 2 theta is also sine 2 theta. So this is u square sine 2 theta upon g. So same value you are getting here, whether you will put this as 2 theta or you will put theta as a 90 minus theta, then also the same value you will get here. That means what is the meaning here actually? The meaning is this, that we are just getting for the projection, if we are projecting any of the object by angle 30, suppose theta is angle 30 here, okay, so it will attain this height, whatever height it would be, it will attain this height. But if we are projecting it by the 90 minus theta, 90 minus theta means what now? It is 60 degree, okay. So if we are projecting it by 60 degree, maybe it will attain the this maximum height, but the range will be equal. But the range will be equal for both the angles. Okay, so the range will be equal for the angle theta also, for 90 minus theta. Keep this thing in your memory, like means for the angle theta and 90 minus theta, the range will be same. The maximum height may differ here, okay, and the maximum value of the range which we have calculated, that is equal to what? This is this sine 2 theta, this value will become 1 here, so it is simply u square upon g. This is simply u square upon g that we got our maximum, okay. Now we will see resultant velocity at a point in a projectile motion. We are already suppose that this is the point A. Here you can see that the resultant velocity is v and the vertical component is x. Sorry, the horizontal component is vx and the vertical component is vy. So the resultant velocity v is equal to vx plus vy here. In the vector form it is there, okay. So if we have to calculate the magnitude of this resultant velocity, we can write this as the magnitude of resultant velocity is equal to what? This is vx square and vy square in this way. You can see that we can just make a triangle like this here in this point A. So this is the triangle and this angle is suppose beta. I'm just magnifying for you so that you can understand very well it, okay. Actually what happened, this is v, the resultant velocity at point A, okay, and this one is the horizontal component vx, this is the vertical component vy, and this is angle beta here, okay. So you will find that the magnitude of this resultant velocity is equal to v square vx square plus vy square and root of this, okay. So here this resultant velocity at this point or any of the point, you will see that this is vx which is equal to ux this way, ux square, and vy we are already derived this formula, equation 6 which we have written there, that is equal to what? That is equal to uy minus gt. So because this is whole square, so I am just writing this as a whole square and this is in this way, okay. So you can see that ux is actually u cos theta, so this is u square cos square theta, and this one is u square sin square theta. This is minus 2u gt sin theta, and this is the last term, that is g square t square, and root of all this, okay. We have just applied identity here, a minus b the whole square, and we have splitted this in this term, okay. So v is equal to what? That is u square cos square theta and sin square theta we can take common here, u square we can take common here, so it will be cos square theta plus sin square theta, which give you the value 1. So this is u square, the whole this term will become u square simply. Now it is 2u gt sin theta plus g square t square, and this will be the resultant velocity at any time. So this is the equation which we have calculated here. For any time we can calculate this equation, and this is E equation, okay. Now we'll see the direction of the velocity. What would be the direction of the resultant velocity at any point? So direction of resultant velocity at any point in projectile motion, okay. So for again we are taking for the point A here, so it would be what it is the 10 beta. I am just writing here 10 beta because we have to calculate this angle beta. So beta is equal to what? 10 beta is equal to perpendicular, that means Vy, and the base, that is Vx. So Vy is what here? It is equal to, already we have learned here, this is equal to u sine theta minus gt, and this is Vx is u cos theta. So we can simply say u would be cancelled, this is tan theta minus gt upon u cos theta we can say. So the angle beta is equal to tan inverse, angle beta is equal to tan inverse of tan theta minus gt upon u cos theta. This would be the angle of this resultant velocity at any point of the in this projectile motion, okay, for the projectile. So these are the all derivations. So what we have calculated, once again I am revising here, for this oblique projectile we have calculated first of all the formula for the nature of trajectory, then second we have calculated for the time of flight, third we have calculated for the maximum height, then after that we have calculated for the resultant velocity and for the direction of the resultant velocity at any point in the projectile motion. So this is means very vast way you have to learn this thing. So it can be means used in the numerical in a different way in the different condition. So keep this thing in your memory.